You'll be applying the rule of divisions of thirds. And basically, the idea behind this is that when you apply this, your images will look more balanced, they will be more aesthetically pleasing, and they will be a better picture overall. This is an example that I shared with you of a photograph of a dry tree in a desert. If you look at the one in the middle, the picture shows the tree in the middle of the composition, and it has a red circle and a slash around it, letting us know, if you didn't notice already, that that picture is not good. And you know what? That's the type of picture that we take. Well, at least I used to take back in the day, because I thought that things look nice if you put them dead center. There's probably a moment when you might need to do that, but it's not to present something in an aesthetic way. It's probably to drive an idea. But if you want a picture to look nice and balanced, you have to use the rule of division of thirds. And that's a picture to your right. You can see that the picture shows the tree slightly off-centered using the grid line and aligning the tree with the grid line. It helps the picture look a lot better, and it's very well balanced. And all it took was just moving the camera a little bit to the side, and that did all the difference in the world. And this is something that you're gonna need to start doing very soon. Guys, any question regarding the rules of division of thirds? Okay, I told you that I don't know the science behind this. What I have read is that for some reason, the human eye, when they're locking into an image, they gravitate to those points of intersections. I mean, when we look at things, we never see those grid lines. That does not exist in the real world. This is just a tool that we use to help us when we're recording an image. If you look at the way that this image is composed, noted that uh, the actress, this is from a movie by Alfred Hitchcock called the Rear Window. The actress is completely aligned with the grid. If you look at the top lines where they intersect, and what part of her body are they intersecting? Look at the picture. Where? Her face. Why do you think that is the case? Why her face? Say that again. Say that again, please. When you're watching a movie, you need actors for a reason. The actors are the storytellers. They're making the performances. What part of the human body is the most expressive part? The face. And what's the most expressive part of the face? The eyes. Very well. Very well. The eyes. So that's why you will see that every time that a shot is composed and that shot is telling a story and it's using the actors to tell the story, they will try to focus on the face because that's where the story is being told, in the face. So the reason why this shot is shot this way is because she is talking to the man that you see in the bottom. He's sitting in a wheelchair using some binoculars. And also notice the way that he is shot. What do you notice about the how he is part of the composition? Any comments? We're talking composition. In the scheme of all things, the way this shot is composed, where they decided to put the actors in the shot, look at the man, look at the actor. If we know that our eyesight travels to the points of intersection in a grid, look at where his face is positioned. Where is his face positioned? Where exactly to the points of intersection, very well. The same way that her face is aligned with the points of intersection, so is his face. They might not be placed there perfectly, but your eyes are going to go to their faces. If you look at this picture, your eyes are going to go to her face and then they're going to go to his face in that order. Why? Because we have a tendency to look at things from top to bottom, not from bottom to top. Why? I don't know. It's just the way it works. It's just the way that our mind, our brain, our eyes work. It's important that you remember these things because you are going to apply these things when you start making videos. This is not something that you can, oh, I forgot about that. You cannot forget about this. This is something that this has to be permanent knowledge that you will be applying in many of your shots. Not all of your shots, but in many of your shots to make them more effective. Okay? And here you have another shot. You do not see the grid lines, but if you put grid lines in that picture, guess what would happen? Anybody that can make a guess here?
It would like cut his face, maybe. It would not.
He will most likely be in the points of intersection. And this is a beautiful page, a picture that is not only making use of the rule of division of thirds, but remember the 5 elements of photography we were talking about. One of them was texture. Look at that wall.
Ahora mismo tú ves esa pared ahí pues normal y se va a ver fea, pero en la foto, como el mismo contenido que tiene la foto, lo hace verse bien, se entiende lo que
Yeah.
quiere decir.
This is a very interesting looking photograph. This is a frame from a picture called The King's Speech. And this, the way it's framed, it also sends the idea of his isolation because I don't know if any of you saw this movie. In this movie, this guy is the King of England and he has a problem. You know that kings have to talk to their subjects on TV, on radio, and he has a problem. He stutters. So he's going to someone that's helping him overcome his stuttering because as soon as he stands in front of a crowd of people, he starts stuttering real bad. And that's not good if you're the king, right? So it's that kind of like makes him feel like isolated from even from his family members. So this picture also sends the idea of how lonely he feels. So this language of cinematography is, you see how it works. It's visual language, but we get all this information just by looking at the way that an image is composed. Are you understanding now how visual language works? It speaks to us without words, just on a purely visual way. Okay, then let's move on then to another rule that you have to apply. When we were talking about the rule of division of thirds, that has to do with photography. And of course, it's used in cinematography because we use cameras. We use the same tool. But this rule is not a rule of photography. It's of cinematography because this one deals with moving images. This is called the 180-degree rule. And in order for you guys to understand this, you must have seen the video. There's a video that illustrates how this works. Usually, when you have two people interacting on a screen, you have to be careful the way you move the camera because you can use a camera in a way and move it in a way that could end up confusing people. Someone came up with this rule. It's called the 180-degree rule. Now here you have to apply your knowledge on geometry. How many degrees do you have in a circle, in a full circle? How many? 360 degrees. So if I'm talking about 180 degrees, what does that describe in geometry? A what? Say that again. Exactly, half of it. So that would be a semicircle. Instead of a full circle, you have a semicircle. So what this rule is saying is the following thing. If you're shooting a subject, in your mind, you have to imagine that those two subjects are in a circle And if you're going to move the camera, you cannot move it beyond the 180-degree mark. If you're looking at this picture, you have a photograph of two characters or two actors in a movie having a conversation. Look at where the cameras are placed. When you're shooting a shot of two people talking to each other, in order to make the shot interesting, you have to shoot it 3 times. Did you hear that? To make the shot interesting, to make it effective, you have to shoot the same thing 3 times. The first time you're going to shoot it from behind the shoulder of one of the characters. You shoot the entire scene from behind the shoulder. You're seeing the shoulder of that character framing the face of the character that is listening. That's one shot. Then you shoot it again between the two characters, and this time you log into both of them. You make you take a shot where you can see both of their faces at the same time, and shoot the whole conversation over again. After you've done that, you move on to the shoulder of the other character, and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to use the shoulder and the head of that other character to frame the face of the character that is in front of him, and shoot the shot all over again. So you shot the same thing 3 times. And later on, when you edit it, you're going to mix the footage. And you will see shots when you see the face of another person, you see the faces of both of them talking, and then the other character. That's how you shoot. That's one scene. 3 shots, one scene. One of the things that you'll notice in this diagram is that there are 4 cameras. 3 of them are black, showing the correct positions. There is one that is shown red. Why?
It looks bad. When you look at how it looks in the picture, it looks bad.
That's not the reason why. Think in 180 degrees. Don't forget that. Think about that again. Think in the semicircle. What's going on with that camera?
They're not in the 180 degree.
It broke the semicircle. It went to the other side. Remember, when we're talking about the 180-degree rule, this is a guideline that is stating that two characters in a scene have to maintain the same left-right relationship to one another. So when I'm showing one character from the right, I always have to show him from the right in that shot. If I'm showing the other character from the left, I have to show the same relationship all the time. If I cross over and move to the other side, it's confusing to the viewer because the person they were seeing at the right side is now going to be at the left side, and they were going like, the people are going to go like, wait a minute, did this guy move, or wasn't he supposed to be at the other side? And that creates confusion. This is specifically true in action scenes. When you're showing like two guys fighting or jumping or all that, or people running, you have to be careful of not breaking this rule too much. Sometimes it can be broken, but rules can be broken by people that know what they're doing. In this case, we're going to assume that you don't know what you're doing. If you've never done something, you don't know what you're doing. And you know what? I've been doing films for a while, for a few years, and I don't like breaking rules. I don't think I'm in a place yet where I can do that in a way that is effective. So you're better off sticking to the rules. So I invite you to, if you haven't seen this video yet, to watch that video and see a practical application of the 180-degree rule. It is used very much, very much. And when it's not used by someone who knows what they're doing, it looks bad. It's a bad shot. Very few people in the professional world of filmmaking break rules and get away with it. Very few people. And that's not you and me. So let's stick to the rules when we're shooting, okay? Watch the video and it will make a whole lot more sense. But we will be addressing this many, many, many times from here to May. We're not done with this rule. I'm just introducing you to this rule. There's another video here in this image that you can click onto from a conversation between two characters in a movie called The Life of Pi, where you will see how Ang Lee, director Ang Lee, uses the 180-degree rule in a simple conversation between two characters. So I invite you to check it out also if you have not. And we're going to finish talking about light because, as you know, light, I told you, is what we record. I cannot stress the importance of lighting enough in filmmaking. The most important element that the camera records is light. So a badly lit scene, and I don't mean that the scene is dark, because you can have a dark scene and it can be well lit, correctly lit. It depends on what you're going for. But a badly lit scene can ruin a movie as much as bad acting can. Proper lighting affects the mood. Remember, proper lighting makes people feel. But when we're talking about a mood, it's about making people register emotions because art touches the emotions. Remember, so when you watch, that's why when you watch movies, you can feel scared, or you can feel unsafe, or you can feel happy, or you can feel elated. You can feel many, many, many different emotions. And that has a lot to do with the performances of the actors, but that also has a lot to do with the lighting of a scene. When we talk about light, there are just two types of light. We have natural light, which is the one that comes from the sun, the one that you have during daytime. Uh, that light is free, right? But you need to know how to manipulate that kind of light also. Sometimes it is hard to control this type of light because sometimes it can get very sunny, sometimes it can get very cloudy. Sometimes you're shooting under a shade, and it changes your light dramatically. So there are ways of manipulating and controlling the light, but natural light is hard to control, but it's free. It costs you nothing. The other type of lighting is artificial lighting, which is easily manipulated, but it will cost you because you have to pay for the electricity. Not only that, sometimes you have to buy special lamps. I have lamps that I had purchased. I have some new ones that I purchased last year because I got a grant from the government, and we were missing some lights because the older light that we had were not working out anymore. We got some fantastic lighting systems, and they help create specific light designs, which is something we're going to be learning in this course also. So if you look at the picture on the top, you're seeing a shot taken with the use of natural light, and the bottom one, a very beautiful shot using artificial lighting, which is the one that you use indoors. So guys, you have a reshoot activity that you will be working on. You will not send it to me. Please do not send it to me until further notice.